I never expected a simple celebration to reroute the quiet rhythm of my life. My name is Evan, and I've always lived in the soft edges of a room present, polite, almost invisible. People called me shy, the kind who blends into a crowd. And most days that suited me. But that night, at my best friend Sarah's engagement party, the quiet part of me woke up and refused to be small. The room shimmered with soft lights and champagne glow. Guests laughed and exchanged stories. I kept to the drinks table, watching Sarah glide through her own celebration. Her smile glowed, especially when she looked at Blake, the man she was marrying, a man carved from confidence and charm. If I felt a sting watching them, I buried it. Maybe jealousy, maybe longing. Then Derek, Blake's smug, towering friend, made his move. "Well, Evan," he announced loudly, "still sitting alone? Shouldn't you be home reading some sad book about unrequited love?" Heat climbed my neck, my stomach twisted. For a heartbeat, I wanted to disappear, but something long buried shifted. The band began a slow, tender melody. Derek nudged me, smirking. "Come on, man! Show us what you've got." Instead of shrinking, I breathed. Instead of retreating, I stepped forward. I walked into the center of the dance floor silent, steady, drawing every eye in the room. For the first time that night, silence was no longer my hiding place. It was my weapon. Scanning the room, I found Leah, Sarah's young cousin, lingering in a corner like she wished she were anywhere else. I approached her softly and offered my hand. "Dance with me?" "Me?" She blinked. "Yes," I said. "Just this song," a shy nod, a step forward. And suddenly she was in my arms as we drifted into the music. The room froze. Whispers rose. Eyes widened. Every person who had chuckled at my quiet existence now stared, startled by a version of me they had never bothered to imagine. Leah smiled up at me, nervous, but trusting. With each step, I felt the weight of years of being overlooked peel away. The dance was slow, fluid, intimate. Derek's smirk evaporated. Blake stiffened. Even Sarah's smile wavered in surprise. We spun gently, the music swelling. When the song ended, Leah leaned into my shoulder, her breath soft, her smile radiant. Gasps fluttered through the crowd. Someone clapped nervously. Quiet had never felt so loud. And I realized something powerful. Sometimes the smallest gesture can shake an entire room. The next song burst into a lively tempo, but the crowd's attention clung to me. Derek started towards me, but I gently guided Leah toward the edge of the floor, spinning her lightly. The movement was graceful and unmistakably deliberate. This was my moment. Blake stepped forward. "Evan, wait," but he stopped. He saw it in my stance, a confidence he never expected. Sarah watched from nearby, her eyes full of wonder and confusion. But I wasn't looking for her reaction anymore. Tonight wasn't about her or Blake or Derek. It was about me. I danced again with Leah, each motion smooth, assured. The crowd buzzed with astonished murmurs. "Look at him go! He's actually amazing! Where did this Evan come from?" Derek turned red. Blake recalibrated his entire impression of me. Sarah stood silent, eyes full of unspoken questions. The music reached its peak, and I twirled Leah beneath my arm. Applause erupted. Leah laughed bright like sunlight breaking through clouds. And the room understood. The quiet one was no longer invisible. When the music faded, I bowed playfully to Leah. She giggled. "You were incredible," she whispered. "Everyone is talking about you." Inside, a deep satisfaction settled. I didn't need revenge. This effortless reclamation of presence was enough. Derek muttered something bitter, but the crowd ignored him. Blake forced a smile. Even Sarah approached hesitantly. "Evan?" she started. I simply smiled and shook my head. No need for explanations. The message had been delivered, perfectly. By the end of the night, people who had never spoken to me offered congratulations, admiration, respect. For once, I didn't shrink from it. I knew I belonged. Later, outside on the balcony, Leah leaned on the railing. "You really know how to make an impression," she teased. I shrugged with a small smile. "You don't need fireworks to be seen. Sometimes a quiet move is all it takes." When I went back inside, Derek caught my eye. No insults, just silent acknowledgement. The quiet one had won. My story that night wasn't about jealousy or proving anyone wrong. It was about proving something to myself. I had carved space into a room that once overlooked me, not with shouting, but with a dance simple, elegant, and undeniable. I left the party changed. Because I finally understood, invisibility is not a curse. It's a choice. And even the quietest person can make a moment echo louder than anyone expects. Thanks for watching. If this story resonated with you, don't forget to like and subscribe for more. See you next time.